Why do studios find it so difficult to make decent video game adaptations? It would be one thing if most of them were just mediocre products, but a vast majority of movies that were translated from video games are genuinely terrible. So Borderlands, I'm going to keep this one fairly brief because quite frankly this movie is not worth your time, so I don't want to babble on about it for an unholy amount of time. It's directed by Eli Roth. The script has gone through a ton of different writers. I think at one point the head writer on the Last of Us TV series was attached. With that said, I don't think any of the names attached to this film leave their stamp on the product. It does not feel like a film that has an identity of its own in any sense. It is based on the popular game series Borderlands. And sure, you'll walk into this, you'll see some Easter eggs, you'll recognize some of the characters, barely. I have dabbled in playing Borderlands myself, but not a ton. I'm not an expert on the series. I probably only have like 10 hours logged into the entire series total. So I'm not one to really judge how perfectly accurate it is to its source material. But I can tell you this much. I'm familiar with the main character, Lilith. I'm familiar with Claptrap and a lot of these other side characters, at least vaguely enough. And the fact that I'm able to pick apart some of these character details and how disrespectful they are to the games is kind of sad. Another thing, this movie really wants to be Guardians of the Galaxy. It's another story about a lawless planet in which a bunch of misfits are all chasing after a MacGuffin, which in this case is a person, and over the course of the story they find themselves becoming somewhat of a team. The problem is that only works if you actually like the characters, and there wasn't a single character in this movie that I found to be genuinely engaging. There were characters that were occasionally amusing. Claptrap is voiced by Jack Black here, and Jack Black at least seems to be trying to do something. I found most of the humor to fall flat on its face, just like Claptrap does, just about every 5 seconds, because most of the jokes are him getting shot at, him getting knocked around, or otherwise maimed. It just gets old so fast. Let's move back to the characters and the way that they're translated from the games for a second. Lilith, our protagonist, is played by Cate Blanchett, whom I absolutely love. I think she's a phenomenal actress. But there are situations where a really strong actor can be cast as the wrong character, and I think that's definitely the case here because Lilith in the games is supposed to be like 22 years old. Blanchett is in her 50s. You can even tell that early drafts of the script were probably meant for a younger actress because Jamie Lee Curtis plays a friend of Lilith's mother, and Jamie Lee Curtis is like 10 years older than Blanchett. It definitely feels like they wanted marketable stars in this film, and they prioritized that over getting the source material translated correctly. And I think that's not going to sit right with a lot of Borderlands fans. I did enjoy Tiny Tina's snarky personality.
Time to make it rain with your body parts.
Give me more of that. That was at least entertaining. I certainly didn't feel anything emotionally for her, or any of the characters in this film for that matter. I can't believe some of the others are even in here at all. Kevin Hart as Roland. This dude had nothing to do, and it's weird to cast a comedian in your film and not even give him that many jokes. But that's precisely what they did here. Gosh, where else can I even go with this? The action is mostly incomprehensible. It's the usual CGI nonsense. A lot of it is shot in the dark with quick cuts, so you can't truly see what's happening. It's rated PG-13, so most of the blood and violence from the games is completely absent. I don't think it's quite as visually bad as people are saying that it is, but for a film that is set in this wasteland planet, you would expect a little bit more vibrance from it. I don't think the visuals from the games translated over here very well, just like nothing does. The story, the characters, all of it feels so rote and robotic. There's a complete lack in stakes. Never once did I feel that any of these characters were in genuine danger, and if they did die, I could honestly not give a shit. The story is also incredibly predictable. You can tell exactly where each scene is headed. There are no surprises, no twists and turns, nothing to keep the viewer engaged unless all they want to see is winks and nods to a game that they really like. And there's no point in making an adaptation of that unless you're going to give it a worthwhile story to accompany it. This is a studio cash grab of the highest order. I'm going to give Borderlands 1.5 stars. I told you I'm going to keep this one short. Trust me, I'm saving you time. Just don't go see this. Don't. There are about 10 other options that are 100 times better. So there's my quick take on the Borderlands film. Be sure to drop your thoughts down in the comments if you did happen to sit through this mess. And be sure to stay tuned for more content upcoming. I'm planning to catch Cuckoo later this weekend, and then next week we have Alien Romulus, which is my most anticipated film of the entire year. Very excited for that. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.